event today has two sessions. We have session one. Session one basically will focus on SWEN. Since we're here in Nebraska, is a new state, we thought it would be fair for you that you know who we are and what we have been doing. And session two would be focusing exclusively on the voters' education, and that's the reason why we're here today. And the purpose of this meeting is to share with you some information about voters' education. We all know, or I presume that a good number of you know that we have an election coming up in Sudan, and it will be taking place in April 2010. So the purpose for the meeting today is basically the voters' education, and I would like to welcome Lula at this moment to give us a brief about SWEN.
My name is Lillian Valentino Rizzi. You can call me Lula, and I came from Phoenix, Arizona. We were focusing mainly country 7 topics: education, health, women's in business, women's legal rights, violence against women. And we have 7 topics that we wanted to find out how are the women coping with those things. So the biggest group, that we saw, the women that are sitting under the dream, that was the biggest problem we realized in education. The 20 years of war was not really easy, so many people missed out school. And if you're not educated, you will not know how to take care about your health. You will not know what is your right. So education was the biggest challenge that we learned out of this conference. So when the conference ended, we also did some stuff. We did silent march. Silent march, we were advocating for something called SSWEN. SSWEN stands for the Convention of Elimination all forms of discrimination against women. It's a UN resolution, and then there is 180 countries that signed that SSWEN. So SSWEN will give women's rights. If your country did not acknowledge your rights as a woman, then you can actually bring your case up to the UN. So there's 180 countries that signed that SSWEN, except Sudan. So we wanted to pressure the government of Sudan to sign SSWEN. So we did a silent march. After the conference, we took all the women with our signs, and we went to meet with our President Salva Kiir. And he was very lucky because that time he had meeting with ministers. There were so many ministers at the meeting, and then he was able to actually come out and meet with us. So the next slide we're going to see is the silent march. We actually, what we did, we started from the resting place of Dr. John Garang, and we went all the way to President Salva Kiir's office.
So if you have any questions just about the project you do, or what you have seen, just a few minutes. Yes.
Thank you for that. The one thing I can ask you, why the government in South Sudan is still making the hospital and bringing the medicine for the people? Why the government did that? Why we have Rafah?
I do appreciate raising, or just I could hear the cry of your heart about the situation in Sudan. I concur with you completely that the Sudanese in diaspora, they know what is happening in Sudan. And the other thing too, and that's our situation here in diaspora, and that's why we need to be reminded how are things getting worse back home. And also time, like life is dynamic, time is changing. Maybe when someone in this room left Sudan, the situation wasn't this bad, or maybe it wasn't this bad. So that's why we need to keep each other involved, informed, and encourage the community to be involved. And the solution for South Sudan, for addressing the issues that is facing our new nation in the making, cannot be addressed by the government, like the official government. We are the government. We in this room are the government of South Sudan. So we have to play a role in contributing to building that new nation. And another thing also we have to remember is that we're building a nation out of scratch. that was the battleground for war. It was a field for war. So completely there is nothing. So the government, I believe they're trying their best, but they are also faced with challenges, and that's why our role as community, as the public, the civil society organizations, and all the Sudanese citizens in large to put their hands together and join into helping our structured government to prosper or to flourish or to develop the country that we envision, the country that we want to see, where basic needs will be met. So thank you so much.
My name is Khadija Bajonga. I have a little concern about how a person like me, like you, could vote from here. A person who lives in diaspora, here in Canada, in Australia, how that person could vote from here during the elections. Thank you.
I can just add to what she said about the polling station. Like, America is too big, right? So we, as well, we're not going to be able to reach everybody. But that's good. We are trying to network with any civil organization like Mr. Tor's organization, for example, so we can reach people. And as you said, the polling stations are going to be like Midwest, هيكون عندهم واحد, Southwest هيكون عندهم واحد. And the reason اللي خلانا نجي في نبراسكا واحنا كنا بنتمنى انه board education في نبراسكا يعني يكون فيه له value فعلا, لانه ممكن في نبراسكا يكون في صندوق بتاع اقتراع. سو لما نيجي يكون في صندوق بتاع اقتراع احنا هنكون very busy في registration, لانه كل حزب هيكون داير يعمل registration للناس بتاعه. هسه في SSWEN.Inc, في SSWEN.AB, في أكثر حاجات كثيرة طالعة صح؟ So yeah, فكل حزب هيجي ورا الناس. انتوا قاعدين هسه you feel like you're not important and nobody's running after you, لكن هيجي وقت انه people are going to run after you عشان to register with them. So في السودان حاليا في منظمات التطوع الوطني هم المدني هم اللي قاعدين يعملوا registration. You have to register. احنا هنا كيف registration بتاعنا هيكون it's not yet known. وده is very scary, لانه ال NEC which stands for National Election Commission هم اللي بيقرروا انه تسجيل بتاع الدياسبرا بيكون كيف؟ تسجيل بتاع السودان، يعني كل القوانين بتاع الإلكشن هم المفروض يعملوه. فالناشونال إلكشن هم كلهم 9 أشخاص، هم 9 أشخاص فيهم 2 نسوان و7 رجال، الاثنين نسوان واحدة جنوبية واحدة شمالية، الجنوبية طلعت صاحبتي. So I called her قلت لها اسمعي so what is happening؟ يعني احنا دايرين نعرف في الدياسبرا how we are going to be registered. اسمها في الليستة، قالت لي والله believe me لغاية حاسس إن كنا في اجتماع ما طلعنا بأي نتيجة. So not yet known. Okay, nice.
Thank you very much. My name is Talbay Malwal. My question to you, do you have a coordination with a lot of Sudanese NGOs in diaspora, for example, here in the United States?
Yeah, so basically, this is good things. We won't be able to tackle it by ourselves. We need community efforts, so for sure. Your suggestion or advice is well taken, and we are on that road. So, for example, we coordinate with the Hearts of Angels for Health Sudan initiative. Their focus is HIV/AIDS and trauma. So, with our strategic planning workshop or training that we did this April 12th, it was my birthday. So, when we did that strategic planning meeting, we were able to identify organizations that we can network with. And our heart also got into networking with Sudanese NGOs, because we understand our problem and we can sacrifice a lot. We won't be able to spend more money on administration compared to a foreign NGO. We want the service to be done, so that's well taken. Do you have anything to add?
No, I think you said it all. And like we are now looking. The problem is there are not so many South Sudanese NGOs in the diaspora. I think you have a good number of NGOs, I think. That's what I realized. But we don't have a lot. But we are open, we are willing. If you know, you can advise us and connect us with some of the NGOs. We would love to work together.